because once we got into the syndication
Mm-hmm.
world, and we're like, okay, we know how to do this. We know how we can add value. And now we're adding value to other people's lives in so many ways. I mean, I'm doing a newsletter this week doing $3 million in construction this year alone.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the scale of economy of all the people that, we're feeding and
I know.
and that are doing work. And then, but my ultimate, like you said, like I care so much about the deal and making it go smooth, maybe to my detriment.
No,
So,
not detriment. I think that's part of your success equation.
But it's really that, like you said, you're giving your all to make that common goal, and now we're adding value to other people's lives. And
a lot of people don't, like, there's some clients of mine and they just do it for themselves and they make a lot of money, and you guys could do that.
Yeah.
You guys should go buy whatever building and just do it and get as rich as possible on your own. And I think it's like, you guys have always been like very social and like well-liked, like all the way from 6th grade when I met you on, like you guys are always like, everyone always loved you guys, like just socially. And I think that what you guys do is like, you're able to, like, if you're winning, you want people to win with you.
Yeah.
You don't just want to win by yourself.
No.
And I think that's why I think it's really great to see you guys in this space, because you're helping a lot of people like win with you and not just doing it for yourself.
Welcome to our Ladders and Leverage podcast, where we discuss real estate investing, building wealth, and creating a better life for you and your family. I'm Danny Lampert, alongside my wife and business partner, Marissa Buss. We have dedicated our lives to achieving financial freedom, and we want to help you do the same. In each episode, you'll hear from real-world investors who have been handpicked to share their insights. So join us as we explore the strategies and habits needed to build wealth in real estate. Today, I am absolutely fired up about our guest, not just because what he does in real estate world, but because Marc and I go way back. So Marc is the Senior Managing Director in Los Angeles office of JLL Capital Markets, and he co-leads the National Private Capital Group. He joined JLL as part of the HFF acquisitions with more than 20 years of experience in real estate and finance. He is primarily responsible for originating debt and sales transactions throughout Southern California, with a focus on multifamily housing, high street retail, medical office, and industrial properties. So during his career, Marc has closed over 1,000 transactions with over $7 billion in transactions. Welcome, Marc, to the show. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. This is actually my first podcast, so we'll see how it goes. But I feel like you guys are familiar faces from probably, 30 years?
30 years.
About 30 years. So
yeah.
It's an easy first podcast. And I rarely hear the introduction because I haven't updated my LinkedIn profile in a while. I think since 2021, but that was good back then. But yeah, it's been a long time in the business, and it's been a really fun career so far. So I'm really excited to be part of your podcast, and really happy you guys are doing this. It's really a good thing.
Yeah, no, thanks. So I have to say, Marc and I, like I said, we grew up together, same neighborhood. And I have a little story to tell that Marc and I got into a little bit of trouble when we were younger. So I'm going to try to lay this out. So there was a park, okay, that's located above tennis courts. And there's a pretty steep hill that the incline goes down to the tennis courts. So Marc and I had the great idea of...
We're in 7th grade.
7th grade.
6th grade summer.
I was okay.
We were like 11 or 12.
Yeah, 11 or 12. So we thought, let's launch. We got this new water balloon launcher. Let's launch water balloons at the tennis players.
Sure.
So we started doing that. And eventually, they would start running up the hill after us and we would take off right away. But then what we realized is this hill is so steep. By the time they get up to us, they were so tired.
And they've just been playing tennis for an hour.
Yeah. So they can't even chase us any longer. So we would wait till they get up, kind of make eye contact, and then we would bolt hop the fence.
That's right.
And then we had the great idea. I think I don't know if we were like doing, 3 flies up with the water balloons, but we ended up launching a water balloon at one of our friends in the neighborhood, and it actually hit him in the eye, from what I remember.
I think for my memory,
please, because I think you were
so
a little more involved.
We got a little sick of the tennis players because they're like adults, and we got a little scared, and so we're like, there's like I think these kids playing football or something like that.
That's right.
And when we were walking by, they're like, "I bet you can't hit us, hit us," and we're like, "Dude, we can't shoot like we're not gonna." And then we finally just turned around like, all right, let's just take like one, like 3 flies up shot at these guys. So we shot that one. I'll never forget that water balloon. And I think we like hit somebody like right in the head. And we like, at that moment, we realized like, what are we like, doing shooting these? Because you'd think a water balloon wouldn't hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But I guess when you accelerate it at 50 miles per hour, water can feel kind of hard. And so I remember my heart just dropped.
Yeah.
And we went and we cut up the water balloon launcher afterwards. And we said, everyone swears we're never talking about this again. And we were like, I think probably one of my best friends at the time.
Yeah.
Brothers in crime at the time. And then after that, I think we weren't allowed to hang out with each other.
Yeah, we got in trouble. I literally I remember, I can visually see the moment where the kid was kind of running and he like turned and it just, boom, right in the face.
We didn't want to hurt him. Yeah.
So.
But then what was great is he went to our high school. And he played water polo with me. And every time I saw the kid, I was like, give him a big hug. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, and we became friends. So I think I'm glad he recovered and glad he didn't have any permanent damage. But now, and then fast forward 30 years and here we are. We've grown up a lot.
Yeah.
Make some better decisions.
Glad to see you both turned out to be much better citizens than you were at that point. It was questionable. You guys were questionable when you were young.
Yeah, every kid gets themselves into some trouble, but you got to learn from that. And
it's so true.
I don't think I've shot a water balloon launcher since.
No. But I think that's one of the gifts I'm going to get your kids when they turn of age.
Please don't.
All right. So from launching water balloons to one of the top mortgage brokers, in the industry. So what drew you into the mortgage world and how did that kind of fall in place?
Yeah, the real story is I was a singer in high school, as you remember, and I made a lot of money doing that. And I was in college at UC Santa Barbara working at the Bacara. And at the Bacara, a lot of like affluent people would come in there. And this one time, this guy just came in and was throwing like $100 bills at everybody. And I was like, I just want to do whatever that guy does for a living, And so I got to know the guy while he was staying there, and he was a mortgage broker. And I just asked him, like, can I come work with you? So he said he'd hire me. And so I went and worked in Beverly Hills on the corner of Wilshire and Crescent. This is a story arc too for later. So an office building in Wilshire Crescent. That was in 2004. And he was doing about $1 billion a year of residential loans. So he was like a very high volume, top residential guy. And that was good for a little bit. And then he turned out not to be the best guy. I didn't know the personality.
He was probably
I just wanted a job.
Subprime.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, it's all about the money and stuff.
Yeah.
And he got into some trouble. So I ended up going to Chase and then Marcus. And I think what really drew me to commercial real estate financing was there's people who are at that age that want to go into investment management where you're trying to get people to give you money so you can invest it. And I was going to be a stockbroker because my uncle was a stockbroker. And what I didn't like is you're trying to look at everybody and try to get money from them. And I felt like by being a financing guy, you just giving people money. It's way more fun to just give people money.
Yeah.
And then you try to find them the best money. And then money is kind of just this word and it's a thing, but you're just kind of, it's so much gray area on terms and what's this and what's that. There's all this maneuvering room, which creates a lot of value for someone who knows what they're doing. And then there's a lot of trickery in the business too, where people who aren't scrupulous or people who don't have good character or good ethos, they can maneuver, they can financially engineer a loan and stuff. So they make all this money and they don't even know. So I felt like a little bit of Robin Hood side too. I wanted to come in, totally understand the industry and make sure that people who worked with me didn't get taken advantage of by the banks, by other people. And when I saw other brokers doing that, I would call it out and be like, hey, this person's like doing this. Like, that's not cool.
Mm.
You know? So I like kind of that like white knight kind of approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been really like give me some purpose in my life. Like kind of, I love the business. I think it's a really fun
Well,
business.
and I think that the financing part of the real estate transaction is actually the hardest part to understand for most people.
Yeah.
Like they can understand underwriting a building. They can understand I'm purchasing this property, inspections. But when you go to do your financing, it's really easy to take advantage of someone.
That's right.
I see it all the time in residential and even in commercial, like trying to learn and going through there's so many different products, and the way that commercial works versus residential, it's a whole different animal.
You're right. You're right on. And I think the best analogy for people who aren't like totally proficient in commercial real estate is food. So if you don't know what you're doing, you might just go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal. It's like, that's a hamburger and French fries and milkshake. Like it's just food. So you go get the loan. I'm just hungry. I'm going to go get the loan.
Yeah.
But if you like, then you can look at the whole spectrum of food and be like, okay, well, how about like organic, like eggs Benedict with farm to table vegetable, like you can go all the way detail into like how careful you're being about the food you're consuming. And what I think is funny is like a mortgage is like a death gauge. So mortgage, death gauge. And they used to set the mortgages so that you'd pay it off before you died. So usually like you have a life expectancy of at least 30 years when you take a mortgage. So that's where the 30-year ham comes
interesting.
from.
Oh,
I never
wow.
knew that.
So when people are consuming loans, they think like, oh, I'm just hungry. I'm going to get a loan. I just need a loan I'm just going to take a loan. And they might be like eating McDonald's every time. And it catches up with you because like it's actually way more important to like zoom into your loans and like make sure they don't get you, because they'll come after. I've seen it happen where people get themselves into a lot of trouble with the loans.
Well, and there's so many different caveats within it. Like especially the loans that we're doing where it's like, okay, and then we have construction draw lines and interest reserves, and it's like, I mean, you read through those loan docs and you're like, what is this saying? What am I signing right now? And how, and just then you're even in the process and you're like, wait, what do you mean I can't do that? And what do you mean like I have no more access to that line of money? And it's like, no, because you have to have this much in there. And you're like, wow, like I thought I had this chunk of money, and then you can't even use all of it.
That's right. And they'll do it on, some lenders will do it on purpose. I think that's one of the biggest barriers to entry. I know you guys are doing a great job raising money and buying buildings and helping people grow wealth. And I think one of the biggest barriers to entry is taking on that financial. There's like, you have a building, you have to turn the building, you got to turn the units, you got to manage the building. But there's this whole other burden that the mortgage and the financing has on like your house, your credibility, your name. Like if you have one deal go bad, all your deals, like it'd be harder to get a loan on it. So you guys, I think a lot of people who want to get into real estate are reluctant to get into those loans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, but they still want the exposure because it's such a great investment. Yeah. So I think that's where you guys are really come into play, and a lot of others, people who work with other people, taking on that burden and understanding it, so they don't have to. Just like all the other features of the transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. They're really
for sure.
complex.
And like what I gathered from what you're saying is, the reason your success that you have, or part of it, is like you said, you were like that Robin, and you took the moral high road, and that's what obviously we see that in you, but all your clients do as well.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that.
I'd say a majority do. Sometimes when you're like trying to be like, oh, I'm the good guy and everyone else is the bad guy. Yeah. Like I don't think it's necessarily that, but there are a few bad actors that can really ruin it for everybody. Yeah. Just like bad realtors or bad doctors or bad police officers, like one bad police officer and every police officer,
Yeah.
So like it's the same way in our industry too.
So well, let's take it back a little bit in the beginning, because I mean we have listeners that are maybe thinking about becoming a mortgage broker or starting out in this industry. Like, what did it really take in the beginning? Like, I mean, you didn't just start doing $1 billion in transactions right away. Like, what did it take to get it really off the ground in the beginning?
Yeah, you know what I think it is that there's no textbooks for learning commercial real estate finance. There's like commercial real estate financing books you can read, but it doesn't really teach you what I do, in my opinion. And then also the other half of our business is relationships.
Yeah.
So you can know commercial real estate all you want, but if the lender doesn't know who you are and you don't understand like how to navigate that and manage that relationship, then you're not very valuable to clients. So clients are using you for your relationships and your access to capital, in addition to your knowledge of the capital that they're consuming. So they give you the options, right? So I'd say that the hardest learning curve was like forging those relationships with key lenders, and then forging relationships with clients that trusted me.
Yeah.
And I'm just a matchmaker trying to put the lenders with the clients. I got myself to a point where if the transaction didn't close, like I was in trouble. You know, I was like in my 20s and I wasn't making that much money. And
Yeah.
it was like 2008, you know, the whole market was so
Oh, it
tough.
was horrible. And the credit crisis. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, every lender, I had deals where I was in application, like you guys would be in contract on a building. And like a week before closing, all the phones that you call the reps, it would be like, this numbers,
Oh
no.
my gosh.
So I drive to the office. I'm like, I'm going to go drive there right now and see what's up. And they're boarded up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh crap. We got to go find another lender fast. So like, I think surviving that 2008, 2009, at the time I was at this company called George Smith Partners, which was a nice boutique shop. And, you know, they had maybe 70 people at George Smith Partners and it went down to like 24.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, I started doing all these small apartment deals in medical office because I'm like, people still have to rent and people still have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And so I went to like essential services, owner user, multifamily medical office. And then I built my whole business from like calling 50 people every week, probably for a couple of years. And getting a lot of no's.
Yeah.
Like you get a no, you know?
Yeah.
You see no as just like, oh, great. It's cool. Let's go for another one.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I used to know. I was like 100 no's to one appointment and 200 no's to a paycheck.
But now like, as you develop and you're better,
now it's
like,
way lower.
your ratios get better over
way
time.
Better.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It gets
if
way
they're
better.
not, you're in the wrong business.
But in the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh, like what? Like the rejection is so much and you just have to learn to like get over it. And I think it makes me more emotionally detached now to outcomes of things versus like I talk about this with Danny, who hasn't been in for 20 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's still more like takes it to heart. And I'm like, hey, we can only be so attached to things. And we are doing, if you're doing your absolute best, then, you know, the outcome will be the outcome. But there are certain factors none of us can control.
It's not in your control. And I also feel like if you're coming from a good place, like I really want to help this person.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I really think that my skill set would be helpful for them. If they choose not to access what I think is good in their best interest, then so be it, right? But if you come from a good place and you get rejected, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's happened. I think the next step is like really being convicted. You said like to a younger person, like really be convicted and focused on not just like wanting to make money, right?
Yeah.
So you can make a lot of money doing this. You know, when I was younger, I just wanted the money because I thought that's like what you're supposed to do. But I guess like really figuring out like what you want in your life, like purpose wise, and how you want to like contribute to the world.
Yeah.
And then like find a way to align that with your business. And then I feel like the rest kind of just happens once you can like get those two things to parallel.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I feel like because once we got into the syndication world and we're like, okay, we know how to do this. We know how we can add value. And now we're adding value to other people's lives in so many ways. I mean, I'm doing a newsletter this week doing $3 million in construction this year alone.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the scale of economy of all the people that, you know, we're feeding and that are doing work. And then, but my ultimate, like you said, like I care so much about the deal and making it go smooth, maybe to my detriment.
No, not detriment. I think that's part of your success equation.
But it's really that, like you said, you're giving your all to make that common goal, you know, and now we're adding value to other people's lives. And
a lot of people don't like, there's some clients of mine and they just do it for themselves and they make a lot of money and you guys could do that.
Yeah.
You guys should go buy whatever building and just do it and get as rich as possible on your own. And I think it's like, you guys have always been like very social and like well-liked, like all the way from 6th grade when I met you on, like you guys are always like, everyone always loved you guys, like just socially. And I think that what you guys do is like, you're able to, like, if you're winning, you want people to win with you.
Yeah.
You don't just want to win by yourself.
No.
And I think that's why I think it's really great to see you guys in this space because you're helping a lot of people like win with you and not
Yeah.
just doing it for yourself. I think that's a really cool
Well,
distinction.
and even down to our tenants. Like, I take a lot of
Yeah,
pride
that's
that
good.
our tenants are like, you are some of the best landlords we've ever had.
Yeah,
Like,
I
we're
agree.
responsive. We make sure their places are clean, what have you. Like, and they're like, we have never lived anywhere where anyone responds or cares.
That's
I
a
mean,
big
we go
deal.
through our units twice a year to make sure, how things are going. And like the other day, he did an inspection and there's a literal
I saw
hole
that
in the
hole in the
person's
sink.
sink.
Yeah, I saw the sink
And
hole.
they didn't call us about it because they're used to people never fixing anything. So
Yeah.
they're like, what's the point?
Wow.
And we're like, no, we like to fix things. So just let us know.
Because
you
a
know?
hole could turn into like a whole
Mold and
problem.
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's sometimes like different owners will just like they just lose sight of like what they're doing. They just think it's all about the money,
Mm-hmm.
and they lose sight there's like someone's life and a human being
Yeah.
is in that unit, like trying to like have a good life. And then you're on this receiving end, like landlord. You're the lord of the land. It's like you're just landlord, and like they're working every day so they can like pay you a percentage of their paycheck, and like they just don't want to get screwed over, and they don't want to feel like they're not important. And if you give people that like respect, then they stay there. They tell their friends, "Hey, you got to move into this building." And I think that's like the difference between 95% occupancy and 89% occupancy. And then if you lose good tenants and you only have bad tenants, well, guess what the bad tenants say? Oh man, you should come to this place, like da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's like a ecosystem, like a fish aquarium.
Yeah, for
and you
sure.
get the wrong people in there and bring wrong people.
Oh,
attract
yeah.
wrong people.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of landlords too think that if they keep the rents low, that's the justification for them not keeping the units nice. And it's like, and I think the same exact thing. Our tenants, because we keep their units nice and care about their units, they have more respect for the building.
Yeah, and they want to have friends over.
Yes, and they're
then
way
their friends
better.
like, oh, I like your pool. Yeah, I think
Yep.
I think what you guys are doing is great, and I
Yeah.
think in Thousand Oaks and Ventura County, in general, it hasn't really experienced as much of the value add as Los Angeles has, and so like there's all this untapped potential for like really upscaling like a lot of 60s, 70s product in this market, and you're seeing that with some of these trades that are going down. LA is a really hard place to do business.
Yeah.
And so coming out to Ventura County is very smart. And going south, like everything's super expensive in South Bay. And
Yeah.
so I
San
feel like this is the
Diego.
most logical path of growth for your moderate income tenant,
Yeah.
like not someone who's going to pay $15,000 a month for rent, but for $2,000 a month, you get a 2-bedroom, or I don't know what they're going for, but it depends on the units.
A little more than that.
Yeah, they're not going for that.
It depends on where it is. If it's in Santa Clarita, like it's cheaper, than if it's on the beach in Ventura.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It is for sure.
So what do you think the biggest mistakes you see real estate investors make when it comes to financing?
Biggest mistakes. I think that sometimes like people will create a relationship with a lender. Like, oh, this is my guy, this is my gal at ABC Bank. And what they don't realize is that bank, their fiduciary, their banker that they're working with, they're fiduciaries to the bank. So all they're trying to do is get as much of that bank product to that client as possible. They're not thinking about representing them from an advisory standpoint. So like, let's just say it's a bank, ABC Bank, and you guys I got a great relationship. This guy takes me to Kings games and Dodger games, and like, 'cause they have a budget for this, right? And I think that what happens is you end up like doing your whole portfolio with them, but you didn't consider other products like longer term fixed products or, interest only or flexibility of prepay, because you're just whatever they're serving, you're taking, right? So I think that the biggest mistake is early on, they'll make some relationships that they trust in the lending industry, and they don't think there's that much value hiring a broker or an advisor, because you're like, I'm not going to pay someone $30, $40, $50, $60, $100,000 to go get me a loan. But what they don't realize is that it's like usually better off to get like great advice, because it's not just the interest rate and the cost. It's a more comprehensive approach on the types of loans and negotiating language on getting your. I remember with you guys, like we went through the docs, I'm like, dude, essentially, like if they just decide they just don't want to give you the money, then you
for
aren't
the
gonna get the money. So
yeah.
what are you gonna? And then if you don't do the work, they're gonna go after you.
Yeah.
So they could put you in a headlock.
Yeah.
So having that is valuable, I think, and that's the biggest mistake I think people make, is like not truly understanding like how much value someone that's experienced can bring to the table.
Yeah. I mean,
that's so interesting.
I couldn't agree more. We just had that deal we just did with you guys, and they were trying to change the terms right at the
last minute,
last hour.
Yep.
from recourse to non-recourse.
Non-recourse to recourse.
Yeah, and
No bueno.
you guys were able to step in because you had the relationships. If we were just working directly with the bank, there's no way.
Yeah.
They would.
And we were a
sometimes.
customer of the bank. And it was like, why are you doing this? We have all this. And it's like, they didn't care. I mean, they get stuck on something. And then it was like, yeah, like because of you and your relationships and how much business you were feeding them, you were able to like get them.
I also think it's like not being afraid of the no. Like most lenders start with no. Like,
yes.
Can you do this loan? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you why you should do this loan? No. Well, I'm going to tell you anyways.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. We're still not interested. We don't want to do it. Well, here's why you should do this.
Yeah.
So you have to get through many no's to get to the right lender.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's just like a commodity. So the other mistake, financing is not a commodity. It's not like you just go to Gelson's and then you grab the milk and there's 2 types of milk and you pick. It's not like that. Like you have to like create stuff out of thin air sometimes because the lenders are trained to say no to everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. My mom has always been that's what's interesting because I never would have thought to only go to one bank because my mom's always been a mortgage broker in residential. And so I was like, oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. There was people like, oh, I have this relationship and it's a big bank. So they just go to them because I've always been like, oh, yeah. And my mom would always say, she's like, because I would flip her loans from people who their lender couldn't get done. And she's like, skill levels vary. Because she's like, you go to these loan officers and they're at a big bank and they're just, they can't package it.
Yeah, and they can't get out of their own box.
Yes. And she's like, sometimes you have to show them and go against the underwriter and be like, no, this is this and this,
Totally.
And I can only see how much more complex. That's why I think it's funny that people wouldn't use a mortgage broker in commercial because even in residential, it's huge value.
Well, some people have in-house financing people that are really proficient. Like Irvine Company has like a whole team that does all their loans internally. So there's some like proficient in-house people, but I'd say and there's some clients who are very proficient. They're real estate lawyers who like worked at a bank and were on the board of this bank. So they understand the maneuver. But the one thing they don't have is like, when was the last time you closed a loan with that bank?
Yeah.
And so JLL does between $1 billion to $4 billion loans in app every week.
Every week.
So
every week
it's $1 billion to $1 to $4 billion a week. And that's like across the country. And that's a lot of volume. And so when a lender starts getting cute, which they usually don't, but if there's an issue, like a lot of times there's market turmoil where, we'll be an application on a loan and, a nuclear bomb goes off or something, and then all the lenders don't want to lend.
Yeah.
But you're in contract.
So
like if they're going to perform on certain obligations, they don't want to burn a bridge with the larger company. They don't, because if they leave us hanging, everyone in the company knows about it.
Yeah.
And then next time we're going to tell a client, like, look, last time there was an issue, they just disappeared. And there were lenders like that.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And then they changed their name. They went from this lender, they called them this. There's this one lender, Kennedy Funding. This is like 10 years ago, so I hope I'm not offending anybody. But there's this lender, Kennedy Funding, in 2010, and there's just a lot of times where they say, here, give me your good faith deposit, $100,000 to evaluate the transaction. And that's non-refundable regardless if we commit the loan or not.
Wow.
And then like 2 weeks later, they'd be like, yeah, we just don't like the area. We're like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, cool. Give me the $100,000 back. No. You guys signed the term sheet. It's like, but you knew where the area was before you took our money. And so like that started happening and they were using that money to kind of keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And then they got called out so fast.
Oh my gosh.
So like stuff like that happens from the lender side too. And it wasn't my rep's fault. It was probably the top down that was like saying, maybe they should, I don't know. I just remember stories like that. So.
Well, and in commercial, you don't have RESPA. So you don't have the same protections that you have if you're buying residential, So it's like I always say it's more like the wild, wild west to do commercial. And it's like, that's why you want to have someone who's doing.
Totally.
And loan terms and all of it changes so fast, so often.
Every week.
Yeah.
It's like hard to give people expectations. Say, hey, I got this, I was on the drive here. Someone calls, what do you think you can get on this building, And I'm looking at like, oh, last week I got like this on something similar. So, but should I even say that? Because that could be totally different now. I'm like, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just trying to fire. So it's changing weekly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on in the world. So what I like about the industry is that your commercial real estate loans are tied to the world. So the people who are giving you the money for a commercial real estate loan could be otherwise investing their money in a corporate bond, more like other investments. They're choosing that a risk-adjusted return to do mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
So that mortgage has to stay competitive. The interest rate and the returns have to stay competitive relative to all the other things those people can invest money in.
Mm.
Right. And it's a lot of brain damage to do a mortgage. Like your construction, that incredible value add deal that you guys just bought in Thousand Oaks, that was a great loan. Like the lender's not going to get in any trouble on that loan. You guys are great operators. It's going to work out. But it requires the lender to like deal with you guys every week. And
Yeah.
so it's like, how much money can they possibly make to justify having all that staff to like deal with it?
Yeah.
Couldn't they just go buy treasuries and get 5%?
Mm-hmm.
Or 4.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
So like they need to get that risk-adjusted return
Yeah.
for their time. So that's like where the rates come from.
Mm,
And that changes all the time because all of a sudden Tesla will bomb or corporate bonds will bomb. And now they're going to get 10% corporate bonds. No one's doing mortgages.
Yeah.
Because you can't get a good risk-adjusted return. Like not no one, but like it changes the appetite to do mortgages.
Oh yeah.
In a day.
Well, yeah.
So you're talking about volatility now. Like,
Yeah.
so how are you coaching your clients on this, like the rate volatility that's going on right now?
Yeah. So we see like the treasuries, like in a band of, let's say 80 basis points, give or take. And the biggest difference in the interest rates that my clients, the impact that they feel is that at certain interest rates, they're not getting the loan amount that they want. So they can't pay off their existing loan. That's the biggest problem. They have a loan, and if rates go up higher, they can't pay it off.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say from a coaching standpoint, I'm not necessarily coaching them, but my advice that I give them is if you can get the loan amount you want and the rate that you want, like that works, take it, because it could go 80 basis points tomorrow and you're out and now you're going to bring cash in. So I think that the coaching is like, here's the situation. What are your instincts? Because everyone has different expectations and instincts, but it's their decision to make. It's not me to tell them what to do. I lay it out and say, if rates go down, you're saving $1,000 a month, let's say. But if rates go up, you're bringing in $500,000.
Yeah.
So like, is it worth it to risk? Let's say it goes up 20 basis points or down 20 basis points. Is it worth it to risk that just to try to save $1,000? Like we locked this $58 million loan at the end of June, and the rate was like they had a floor of 6%, and the rate went down from 6.35 to 6.08. And the client's like, "Oh, should I wait for it to hit 6? Because then and the difference between like those 8 basis points was like kind of not that much, like in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But it could go back up to 6.35, and then would kind of take a lot of cash out off the table. So we just, he decided like, look, it's not like the biggest enemy of good is better, is something that my client said. So if you're trying to always get better, like you end up missing good sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that's the advice is, can you stomach, if it went the other way, could you stomach it? And also to go back to that analogy of people going straight to the lender, some lenders won't lock you. They don't want to take the risk of locking a loan. And then by the time it closes, there's a different economic situation. So they want you to float all the way to the end. So I think that one of the other things I've always impressed on people I work with is, if there's an option to lock your rate and just not have that be a variable, there's enough variables in our lives.
Yeah.
So lock your rate and just know what it is, do it. And then don't look back.
Oh yeah. I mean, trying to time the market is the most ridiculous thing.
And if you know rates are going down, you can make such a better asymmetric return betting on interest rates with your stockbroker's account than betting using your properties.
Yeah.
So if you really think it's going to go down, go buy some swaption and you can make an incredible return.
Yeah.
So like, there's more efficient ways to bet on interest rates than your mortgage transaction. So I just tell people, just get the loan if it works.
Okay. So Marc, you're not doing $500,000 loans anymore. You're doing 9-figure deals across hotels, retail, and multifamily portfolios. So for someone listening and who wants to level up, this is where you learn how the best borrowers think and operate. So I remember you saying, I think it was at your 40th birthday party, like you went from doing, $10, $15 million deals to like a $60 million deal or something like that.
Like a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell a story.
Yeah. And what was I'm just curious. I mean, because that's like a lot of us get stuck in zeros and numbers. And I've when I was new in this, I was intimidated by, I'll just stick with the small deals.
Yeah. I would say like when I was at George Smith Partners, I was doing about 60 to 70 transactions a year. and the average was like 1.5 to 3 million. Like I would just do so many multifamily deals. And I really wanted to get out of that. Not because I didn't enjoy it, but it's kind of nice that there's a lot of larger deals with bigger clients that also could be, like bigger, better. But I just like the more complex transactions were usually the larger ones. And so I had a client who had a $2 million deal, but also had a $40 million loan that was maturing. And I said, if I'll do all these smaller deals with you, if you could just like give me a shot on the larger deal, And so I'd say he gave me a shot on a large deal. That was 15 years ago. I did a 5-year fixed. And then 5 years later, I did the loan again and on a 10-year fixed, and it closed on my wedding day. And then I'm closing it next week, which is the 10-year anniversary, so I'm closing it for the third time, that same deal. It kind of jumped me up.
Yeah.
And then you use that larger deal and you call all the other people in the area that have similar size transactions and say, let me tell you what I learned from doing this transaction. And then I feel like sometimes just doing those larger transactions. So I think that people see you as just an advisor, whether it's big or small. I've done everything from, like right now, I probably have a $2 million deal and I have $200 million deal. So I'd say it doesn't matter. It's really client focused. Like if a client needs help with something, you do it. Doesn't matter. It's not about how big the loan is. I'd say, so your advice to answer the question is take the ego out of the equation.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to work with you and you want to do a good job, just do a good job. And then all the points will add up at the end. Like, don't just try to do, like, it's not about the biggest deal. It's about who you're doing business with.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
I think.
when I was in commercial way back in the day, the senior broker used to say to me, he's like, Marissa, stop calling these like $500,000 apartment buildings, because that's where I was comfortable, right?
Yeah.
At 22 years old, cold calling these guys. And he's like, it's the same amount of work. It's just more zeros.
Yeah.
And
There's
I was
actually
like,
more work, I think.
Yeah, in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
it is. It really is, because you are dealing with people who are not as sophisticated necessarily to what they're doing. And so they need more hand-holding
That's right.
through it, where the people who are in the bigger deals, they've been doing it a while.
Yeah. It's like you got to pick your hard. I think there was like something I heard. And like when you're originating business, it might be easier to get the business, but it's harder to close the business. It might be really hard to get the business that's easier to close. So you got to just figure out like where on that spectrum you really feel you're most valuable. And then, or you can hedge it. You can go after some easy deals to build a base, and then go after some harder deals while you're working on the easy. So you can like kind of hedge it too.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
What separates from a $10 million borrower to a $100 million borrower?
Nothing. Like they're the same people.
Yeah.
I would say that the $100 million deal is infinitely more easy to close.
Really?
The reason why is because there's enough money for each side to have lender's counsel, borrower's counsel. So having really experienced counsel involved in the transaction like really greases the wheels. The number of staff at the lender doing a $100 million loan, like you have a whole deal team on the deal, and on a $10 million loan, it might be like a processor or underwriter.
Yeah.
And then that $10 million loan, maybe they're doing 50 loans a month at that bank, where the $100 million loan's doing maybe 20 loans a year. So like it's more it's like
Yeah.
and it's
higher
a lot.
level
Yeah, and I'd
service.
say like if we took a loan out to market on a $100 million deal, we'd probably there's probably over 100 lenders in the, like, let's say in a universe that are competitive. I'd say on a $100 million deal, probably 35 would show up. But on a $10 million deal, there's probably a universe of 40, and maybe five to 10 show up depending on the product type. So there's like less participants on smaller deals.
Interesting.
Wow. I would not have realized
Yeah.
that at all.
Yeah, I thought it would be opposite.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 100. Maybe
Yeah.
100's big. So I'd say 50 would be like where the sweet 30 to 50 is like the sweet spot for financing.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
That's the easiest loans. Sub 30, you get it's hard. There's
Sub
like a little-
30 million.
Sub $30 million loans are harder because most of the lenders programs will say, we're not, like we took this $25 million loan out last week in Beverly Hills. And that deal was the deal I officed in my first job. So I finally got to finance that building.
Oh, really?
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
It's like a full circle.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
That's so
How
funny.
cool.
I've been calling them for 20 years. Finally, they gave me the shot. So, but that's 25 million. A lot of our objections were it's too small. So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is like you go backwards with the lenders. You figure out who's lending on what, and then go originate deals that fit those most competitive lenders' criteria. Don't go the other way around.
See, we got to grow more. We're in the like hard zone. It's
Yeah.
basically what
This is
we're
where all the
doing.
money is to be made. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
the return profiles on larger deals are so tight because the institutions and
Oh yeah.
so this is the best place to make money is like $5 to $20 million transactions.
Yeah. No, it is. It's like I said to Danny last night. I said, one day we won't be like working this hard all the time.
No, you'll always be because of who you are. You guys aren't the type that go to the beach and sit and like at the pool. Like you guys are swimming, you're playing water volleyball, you're doing
It's
water
true.
sports. Like you guys are just active people.
It's true.
Yeah.
Every
You're always
trip
gonna be
we go
busy.
on, we
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
smash ball on the
Exactly.
beach, and people always come up to us and are like, "Oh, where did you get that?" And we're like, "We brought
We
it
brought it.
because we are those people
We're
who
not
brought
sitting on a
our
towel.
No, like because
Yeah.
we can sit there for while we're like answering emails, and then we're like, "Okay, what
Exactly.
are we doing?"
It's hard to play smash ball with your phone in your hand. That's just another
Yes,
good thing about the game. Like
It
you
does.
get away from the screens.
Yes, that's so funny.
So you have a lot of successful clients, and what is maybe one or two traits that the most successful clients share?
I was at a long dinner for 4 hours with one of my favorite clients ever last night. And we had this exact discussion. I didn't know
Really?
that you were going to ask me that. So it's kind of funny. And I think the answer is like so easy. It's the way people treat people.
Mm.
So the most successful clients I've seen over the 20 years are people where I know that if I do my job, I'll get compensated fairly. And I know that everyone that they interact with when they get on a call with a lender, they're not going to be a jerk.
Mm.
And they're just going to be great people to work with. And that's the biggest differentiator. There's so many people in the market that they make more money, they make a bunch of money, and then they think, oh, now that I have 10 million in my checking account, I get to be a jerk. Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so I think that that's the biggest differentiator is like how people treat other people and how much respect they have for other people's time.
yes,
And then people want to give you deals.
mm-hmm.
They want to work with you. So I think that that's the big differentiator. And that's something you guys definitely have is like the way you treat everybody from tenants to your investors.
Thank you.
And I think
Yeah.
that's a great recipe for differentiation and success.
For sure. And I mean, I just recently have a listing, an estate listing in Tarzana.
Mhm.
And this market's slow right now. I get 12 offers
Mhm.
and these buyers call though, and they like treat me like I'm nothing and want me to just run and show them the house. And,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's like, yeah, you think I want to work with you
Yeah.
when you're literally talking to me on the phone like I am like nothing to you? I'm like,
Yeah.
I got 12 offers. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I don't need to represent a buyer on my listing personally. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to do that, like the liability in it. But yeah, it's that like,
people
then it's
skills.
like to get you into escrow, then I'm going to deal with you in escrow. And that's
Yeah.
the way you are just on the phone. And people don't realize that.
Well, I think why you're such a good agent is because you really have great instincts with people. And so you're not only just trying to protect your time by not jumping when someone's being rude, like eventually that's going to circle back to a conversation with your seller, and your seller is going to be like, why did you
Yeah.
like not screen this person, right? Because they're going to be problematic.
Oh, yeah.
The red flags are everywhere.
You don't just turn nice all of a sudden when you're in escrow.
Yeah, exactly. You get
Yeah.
meaner.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember you guys represented me on my house,
Yeah.
and there were some turning points where we could have really drilled in on her and
Yeah.
asked her for credits and stuff. And I think the goal was like, at the end of the day, like, whatever, right? And like, you guys kind of coached people through being amicable in those situations. And I think if I hadn't done that, I would have not been in the house that I was in.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to do business with people like that.
Yeah.
So I think that reputation is, to answer your question, reputation is everything
Yeah.
for
100%.
you, for the lender. And so people, you
Yeah.
only get a good reputation by being a good person,
Yeah.
because it's really hard to hide if you're a bad person
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
No, that's great advice. So I want to switch a little bit to like mindset and momentum. And this one I didn't even write down, but I wanted to actually ask it, like, how do you deal with, I mean, you're dealing with some high pressure loans, right? And, you got your clients, sometimes they're, in a frenzy because they need to close this loan or whatever. Like, how do you deal with pressure? Is there like any sort of relief that you have for yourself, or just comes naturally?
Yeah, I think that, in our industry, there's always going to be times where I've gotten calls, I need $8 million by Friday, and it's like Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, like, let's do it. We'll
Sure.
figure it out, right? I don't really look at it as pressure.
Yeah.
I look at it like, this is a great opportunity for me to like utilize what I've learned. I can't always help somebody. So I think the other half of pressure. So here's an example. I'm jumping around, but this is a good example.
I love it.
We had to be at our dinner last night at 6:45. And I thought it'd take an hour to drive from here to LA, but it took an hour and 15 minutes. So the whole drive, I'm worried because it started like right on time. It was like this whole thing. The whole drive, I'm like nervous. I have pressure. I got to get there. I'm like cutting people, we're like weaving through traffic and I had that pressure. So I think that it's like expectation management and time management makes it so there's no pressure. So if I just left earlier, there'd be no pressure. So I think that a lot of the times I don't see it as like an obstacle. I just see it as something we just have to figure out.
Yeah.
And then it's not a whole conversation about pressure and stress. And I think clients want to sleep at night. So they don't want to be, if you make your client worry about their loan closing, then you're not doing a good job.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Right?
And I feel like in real estate being on an agent side, I feel like there are agents who try to prove their value by creating drama.
Yeah.
And I've always been one, I want my clients to literally think it's the smoothest escrow they've ever had. And that I'm solving everything on the back end. And I don't necessarily need you to know what I'm solving.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting paid for.
Totally.
But you get into these escrows sometimes with people and you're like, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that one of my clients told me once said, I appreciate the update, but the reason I hired you is I don't want to have to think about the loan. Is it going to close on time? Yes. Okay. If anything comes up where you're not going to close on time, give me another update. Otherwise, I know I'm in good hands, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I guess everyone wants different service.
Yeah.
So somebody wants all the details, like they're type A person, they want to update every day. So we have templates where we do like daily updates on all our lender contact, right? And there's other people that are like, you're going to drive me nuts if you take me on a magic carpet roller coaster ride every time you get feedback that's positive or negative.
Yeah.
Like, don't like that. So you gotta like understand what kind of service people want.
Yeah, 100% for sure.
But I do like your point that people try to say like, oh, look how much I know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
look at all this stuff I'm solving. Look at these issues that came up and look at what I did.
Totally.
And then it's so true. I have clients who are like, they want to know every showing's feedback.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then you have ones that are like, let me know when we have an offer. No, I don't really need to know how many people saw my house or whatever.
Is someone going to write an offer at the price I want? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What's maybe a daily habit that keeps you sharp, that you work on? Or
I think there's just like a period of time every day where you just aren't staring at a screen. And so like I think meditation is the thing that is the best. Like even if you're just laying in bed for a half an hour, closing your eyes, like walking through whatever comes up in your mind, or just not thinking about anything, which is really hard, honestly.
Yeah.
But like just clearing the space. And I think that this job requires a lot of creativity. So, I think that making space so you can have like some creative thoughts come in. And I like gardening. I like plants and I like being outdoors. And I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from being outside. So like if I'm just in my office and I'm not feeling good, I'll just go for a walk and come back.
Yeah. Change your state.
Nature changes everything.
Yeah.
I think.
No,
100%.
that's so true. That's so true. So talk about high net worth clients. What do they do differently than the average borrower? I mean, I kind of hit on it, but like your highest net worth clients, are they just like Marissa and I, or are they just cut a little different?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I think you'd be surprised, at least from my experience, that they're just like you guys.
Yeah.
And they just have been investing in real estate longer.
Yeah.
Because real estate's kind of a long-term game.
Yeah.
So they started buying properties in the 60s.
Yes.
So now it's 2025. Like how did that work out?
Yeah.
Real well.
Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of it is like time. I think the difference is like learning to say no to deals. So some mistakes people make is they want to grow too quickly. They want to have 1,000 units. They want to do this. And then they grow a little too fast. And I think that you have to be patient with real estate and like say no to a deal if it gets too overpriced. Remember that deal that we looked at together to partner in?
Yeah.
We said, this is the price I think this is worth for us. And then someone went and paid like $8 million more than us.
Yeah.
Like, fine, let them
I don't know.
that.
I'm like, I drive by it and I'm like, what are you going to do to that to make
do
that
not
make
chase the
sense?
dragon. I think some people chase the dragon and then they get all this money from people and they want to like. I think it all comes down to ego. It's like having the zero ego. Like you're not trying to like win the contest for who has the most units. You're just trying to find good deals and perform on them. And then if it takes longer to be successful, fine.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to
100%.
overreach. So I think you guys have been very disciplined on saying no to a lot of the stuff we looked at.
Yeah. And we have recently too. I mean, I think that is huge because we have so many people that are like, when's your next deal? When's your next deal? I know this person also wants it. And we're like, we haven't found one yet that like we need to make sure. Cause it's like also then when you're in these deals and the way we do them, you know, all these little things are coming up and we're like, all right, we're learning this, we're learning that, you know, and we're like, oh, okay. Like we looked at a building yesterday. Oh my gosh. I don't, it was just a waste of time. We go and it's like through a residential neighborhood and then it's like this random building that used to be a motel. Obviously, you can tell next to the freeway in Oxnard, and it's all 1-bedrooms and studios. And I was like, no wonder your cap rate's so high. Like this, and there's nowhere to like really do value add. I was like, this is no. But you know,
but if you could buy it for like a 15 cap, you're like, fine. So I think sometimes there's the seller's expectations get clouded by brokers who try to get listings.
Yes.
Oh, I can get you this price for it. And they don't know what they're doing. So then they got this number in their head. And then they are looking for that. And they might find a unicorn buyer who
is in exchange and just needs to put their money somewhere.
Yeah. Like they might find that, but like those unicorn buyers are smarter than they.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the smaller owners are unsophisticated. I think everyone's like investing their money like it's theirs. So I think that like sometimes brokers take the wrong attitude. Like, oh, we'll find some mom and pop buyer to like that doesn't understand the numbers to buy. It's like, I don't know about that. I think people know what they're getting themselves into these days.
For sure, in the smaller properties, you see it so much, especially like when a residential agent gets a commercial listing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why did you price it this way? How did you like this this makes no sense. Like
how they had a relationship with the seller and then the seller said, I want to get this number. That's how they priced it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. They just wanted the listing.
Yeah. And that's fine. And I think those are good opportunities for you because if they were to hire a commercial person who's like past top of their game, then they're going to know how to refine the numbers to such a point where they're taking all the juice out of it for the buyer.
Yeah.
So I like those opportunities when there's someone that might be a fish out of water on the listing side. You find some good deals that way, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
So, what is the most unique property that you've refinanced or done a purchase on
recently?
Yeah, like something that's like
everything. I mean, like I did
or like just interesting, kind of complex. Like
I'm trying to think of which one to pick.
Or you can say a couple, but I just think it's interesting, like to hear.
Yeah, a couple interesting things. You know, we did an airport hangar once, and that was in Torrance. And what we learned about the airport hangars is that a lot of the income comes from the FBO operation, the fuel operation. And so you just try to get people to put their planes in the hangars, and then you sell them the fuel because like they have to fill up at your airport.
Oh my gosh!
And then most of the stuff is on ground leases with the city.
Oh.
So like ground leases are really an interesting, unique thing. I'm always trying to like learn more. Like every day I learn something.
Yeah.
Like I just got a deal this week, and the deal almost kind of fell apart over A and B insurance. You know what A and B insurance is?
No.
I'm like, I didn't know what A and B insurance. I've done thousands of deals. Assault and battery insurance. Like,
what is it?
What's assault and battery insurance? Oh, well, that's if some of your tenants like get killed at your property, or can they sue the management company for assault and battery, like because it's an unsafe living conditions? Like, the lender's requiring A and B insurance. Like, never heard of that before.
Is it because of the area it's located?
No, it's just some of the Freddie Mac guidelines for like a large loan. Like they're now changing their enforcement.
They got sued for something.
Yeah, someone like died in a pool, and there's like no camera on the pool. It's like now everyone has to put cameras on the pool.
Wow.
You know, so like there's like stuff like that makes things complex. But the ground leases are really interesting because in Beverly Hills there's like participating ground leases where someone like sold their property but they kept the land.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then if you sell the property, you have to give like, I'm doing this deal right now where if the guy sells the property, he has to give 25% of the sales price to the ground lessor.
And they still own the
They
land.
still own the land, but it's a participating ground lease.
Oh my gosh.
So we're trying to figure out how to finance a buyer who buys that, because if that buyer ends up selling it, they have to give 25% of their sale price to the lender. And then what if there's a foreclosure? Then the lender takes over the property. Is that a sale? And does that constitute 25% that goes back to the ground lessor?
Oh my gosh.
So like trying to figure out how to, so I usually get the calls when another broker tried to take a swing at it and went to market, didn't get the deal done. And then they ask around and they'll say, oh, like talk to this guy, he'll have some creative ideas for you. And then I'll try to figure it out. And sometimes I come back to him and say like, I don't think that it's possible.
Yeah.
And then,
That's crazy. That's a crazy concept
Yeah.
that you not only own the land and get to own the land, but then you get part of the sale.
or any cash out proceeds too. If there's a refinance and there's cash out, they get 25% of the cash out proceeds.
Wow.
That's because that land is like so valuable though.
It's in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Because you nowhere else would people
Well, who would say
agree
yes
to
to
that.
that?
No
Yeah,
one would agree to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got to be.
So I might take on that sale listing and try to convince a lender to finance it or a buyer to buy it, because like there is a good return there if you're willing to. That's like a unique. There's gold leases too, where like the lease on the ground will reset to based off the price of gold.
Oh my gosh.
So with gold running up so high, like the ground rent like it's like more than the NOI. So then like what do you do? Then they just get to take the property, the whole thing.
Where are those?
Like Beverly Hills, New York. There's
This
like
is
some
why
gold
we're not
leases.
doing LA County. It wasn't just the tenants. Now it's
No, it's
now
not.
it's the ground leases and the gold leases and that's
Yeah,
crazy.
construction's difficult right now
Yeah.
because the costs are so high, like ground up development. So there's a lot of ground up developments that are just on pause, and they were going to build a high rise, and now they're like, why don't we just build the retail? We'll just do the retail and not the apartments. And
Really?
then it's like a better return on cost just to do that.
Yeah, because it's so expensive.
It's so expensive, and then the trades of like newly built properties that are for sale might be less or too close to what it costs to build. So why don't you just go buy something that someone else
already done.
built?
Yeah.
But I think there's some good opportunities if you built now, because there's not that many people building.
Yeah.
That when that delivers in 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
you're the best product in the market.
Right.
And then everyone's going to move to your building.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that some people are like contrarian and they're making big bets on that, and they'll probably end up working out for them.
Working out.
It's better than building when everyone else is building.
Right.
Well, and that's what we're seeing even here locally. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many projects that have been approved like by city council and will
Mhm.
allow them to build, but they're not pulling permits
Yeah.
because the costs are so high and interest
That's
rates
right.
are so high.
That's right.
So that's where I'm like, well, this is a great time for us
Totally.
buying apartment buildings and adding ADUs because we're creating a few more units, but also we're not competing yet with those brand new units that are going to be coming on in
Yeah.
5 years. Say.
And you might not ever want to compete with those. I think that
No.
I think you look at the nominal rents of like how much money do you think somebody wants to pay for a nice apartment building?
Yeah.
You know? And then you kind of set like your competitive set. Like,
Yeah.
we just upscale this part. I think you guys done a great job of like market positioning,
Yeah.
where you look at a building and go, oh, if I just put $20,000 into these units, you get $1,000 more a month or something. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
And so and the fact that as you own more and more buildings, that insight of like what tenants want and stuff,
Yeah.
it gets more and more compounding.
Yeah.
And you
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
you guys will make smarter and smarter and smarter bets as
Yeah.
you go.
Well, and it's like in Santa Paula and people, and even when we purchased Oxnard, actually, the one we did with you guys with Sunday Capital, the appraiser for Corvest member was like, oh, you'll never be able to get those rents. And it's because nobody remodels their units the way we do. So we
Yeah.
end up getting these higher rents. And
That's right.
appraisers are like, there's no way. But then it's like, well, we did.
Yeah. Well, the appraisers are
They're supposed to be
like,
skeptical.
they're
conservative.
They're the hall monitors. you know.
Yeah, they are.
if
Hall
you-
monitor's a good word.
You know what I mean? They're just like,
That's so true.
because they have nothing
Yeah.
to gain if they end up,
Yes.
let's say you don't make those rents, now they're not going to use that appraiser anymore.
Yep.
They're just trying to just stay a job. Like, I don't blame them for being conservative.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do is just proofs in the pudding. Show them, hey, appraiser, just want to let you know, nice, just in case we come across each other again.
Yeah.
Here's how they performed on this. Believe in us next time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you
good.
got to circle back and like and educate them.
Yeah.
And they really crave that information. So I think having a good relationships with appraisers, not
Yeah.
just lenders, has been another
That's good advice.
critical
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
that's good.
Well, and it's helped us like when we have multiple buildings in the area, like Santa Paula. I I mean, no one thought we would have ever gone. Even
Yeah.
I didn't when we
Such a
first
cool
bought.
area too.
Oh, it is. It's like a little hidden gem.
Oh my
And no
gosh.
one thought we would have gotten the rents we get. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we just rented out our last ADU on Harvard.
It's amazing.
Yeah, which I
That's
was like,
fast.
it was super fast. I mean, it was a little slow for a bit, but now
Just in the beginning. Right?
they're all done.
It's done. It looks, I mean,
I'd love to come check it out. I know we
It's
did
so
that.
pretty.
Yeah, we just finished the landscape, so it's like
Cool.
it just looks amazing now. Yeah, everyone's stoked on. Even the tenants are like, because I mean, they put up with construction for
Yeah,
a
a
year
long
and a
time.
half.
It's
So it's
worth
like,
it.
so I'm gonna landscape this for you. I'm putting like a barbecue out there, and tables, and kind of make a nice little community. I gave everyone little garden beds.
That's rad.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
raised
pride of
garden
ownership is
Yeah.
when we look for opportunities to buy, we drive around and you can like look at a building. You're like, there's zero pride of ownership. They should sell.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure if I drive by one of your buildings right now, it's like, oh, someone loves this property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just tell right away.
Yeah.
Well, and then the tenants love it. They
Yeah.
love like adding the garden beds has been one of the biggest things because they,
Yeah.
I mean, they want
Some
to.
tomatoes. And
Yeah.
I love it.
Sometimes they
Some
just do flowers.
it's
Yeah.
cool.
They love it.
So before we get into our final five, where do you see interest rates? Where are they going?
Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
crystal ball say?
Like I said earlier, I'm serious. Like I said earlier, if anybody really knows where interest rates are
yeah.
going, there's some really great financial tools to make an
Yeah.
incredible amount of money going there, right?
Yeah.
But I would say this: you look at everything that's going on in the world, and that just throws a wrench into anybody trying to predict. Like it could be volatile.
Oh, yeah.
I think that everyone for the past 3 years keeps saying, "Oh, in January 1, the rates going down. Oh,
Yeah.
in September 1."
Yep.
So everyone's just been like holding their loans, like hoping rates come down. I think that rates are definitely going to be volatile, would be my answer. So
Yeah.
there's going to be periods of time where rates are going to be like much lower than they are today. And then there might be periods of time where they're higher than they are today.
Mm,
It's like it's just going to be up and down. I don't think it's just like a descending straight line to like
Yeah.
it's going to be lower. Because if it's a descending straight line, that's the worst case scenario for people in the transaction business.
oh, yeah.
Because just
People
puts
are
everybody on
terrified.
pause. Like you shouldn't get a 5-year fix right now if you think that's true.
Yeah.
You should get a floating rate loan. But what if the rates go up? Oh man, then you're going to be
Yeah.
right. So I think that the idea is that be ready when the rates do. There'll be like times where like there's just a dip,
Yeah.
and just be ready to strike, and then act like that might be the lowest it will be for a year, because it might.
Yeah.
So I think it's just more of like a timing thing than like a directional thing. But we're all hoping rates go down.
Yeah.
Because once the rates go down, what you guys will see is your cap rates compressing on all the stuff you're buying. And that's where most of these older, ultra high net worths that you
Yeah.
ask, like, how did they get so rich? Like, cap rate compression.
Yeah.
They used to be like 9 caps, now they're 3 caps. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what does that do to a value?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what we're.
that's how they got it.
That's
yeah.
what we're waiting for. I mean, we have a couple we're getting ready to sell, and
Yep.
once rates come down, then it's ready to unload. But right now, and that's what's. I mean, she underwrites the deals, and
Mhm.
I think that's been one big part is like the conservative underwriting. We're even like for one that we're looking at. I mean, we're underwriting at like 6.25.
Yeah, like
Like,
worst case
Oh,
scenario.
6.25 always, or at least 6.5.
yeah,
Because I'm like, I know
For
you
the-
say interest
You have
rates
to.
might go down, but I'm like,
Yeah.
what if they don't by the time
Perfect.
we're done with all of our construction, which is 2 years, right? Because I'm trying to predict an interest rate in 2 years.
Yeah. And if
Which
you're
is
wrong, there's
insane.
consequences.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not just a game
yeah.
No, because then I can't pay off the construction loan.
without bringing
With-
money in.
Yes. And so it's like, no, I'd rather underwrite it like as conservative as possible.
Yeah. You guys were actually more conservative than the lender was on the herbs transaction. Like the lender
Mhm.
will sell you as much
Oh yeah, they want to
money
give us,
as you
yeah.
want, right? But
we're like,
I think
no.
you guys were very prudent. You kind of said, okay, thank you for that amount. We'll take a little bit less. We'll just be a little more. We'll drive
Yeah.
we'll drive 65 in a 65. We don't need to drive 80 miles an hour
Yeah.
in a 65, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the lenders try to get you to take too much leverage so that you can't pay them off because they want to have that higher interest rate longer. Because you can pay them off in 12 months,
Yeah.
then they only get their return for 12 months, but they really are hoping for more duration. So sometimes they like can have a tendency to try to set it so it's like a little uncomfortable to take out, so that you stay in the higher interest rate. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're not on your side necessarily.
No,
Their fiduciary is to make as much interest for their investors.
for sure.
So like
Yeah.
they're playing that game a little bit.
yeah.
And that's why we appreciate working with you, is because, you are vetting our deals with us.
Yeah.
Your whole team's underwriting. You're like,
Yeah.
and you've even said to us, "Oh, this deal may be, a little tight, this and that," and that's what we respect out of,
Yeah.
you're not just trying to close the transaction.
That's right.
Well, and for me, like, especially on some of the, like on Harvard, which was our second syndication, 24 units, we jumped up from our first one was 1.2 million to
Yep.
6.2 million. And I was like saying to Danny, I'm like, no one checks my numbers. Like, what
Yeah.
if my numbers are wrong? And then he's like, he made the point. He's like, no, actually, Mark's whole team checked your
Yeah.
numbers. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point. That like you review the underwriting, and they're like, no one's going to lend you money if your underwriting is totally not
Yeah.
possible and they
Yeah.
can't see it.
And
So I was like, oh, that makes me feel so much better, because I'm like, yeah, it's not like we are big enough where we have like, a whole department that's underwriting, and then we're like looking at each other's stuff. It's
Yep.
me. And I'm like,
I think that we always take the position of anytime someone buys something, like, is this a good deal? Like, we're
Yeah.
kind of guilty till proven innocent. And then you guys have done a good job of bringing in all the arguments for why it's a good deal. Oh, this rent is getting here. They just sold this building for this.
Yeah.
And then we use that to go to the lenders, because when we call the lenders, they say,
yeah.
I don't know about this deal. It's kind of an auction.
Yeah.
You're like, no, boom, boom, boom. And you guys get that ammunition is
Yeah.
really, really critical. And you're not just like BSing them. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
the market. So
Yeah. And then I've learned to like underwrite it like every different way. Like, what if I can't evict everyone? Because I, had that. What
Yeah.
if we can't build the ADUs? So it's like I always
Yep.
have these different spreadsheets where I'm like, yes, I looked
Mhm.
at that. I looked at that. Here you go. And then
That's the
they're
best
like,
way to do it.
they're like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
I'm like, yes, I look at it every
No,
way
I remember
too.
those calls.
Yeah, because I'm like, trust me, I'm
it.
thinking about that too. Even the other day, Danny was like, what if I can't? Because he's,
Yeah.
the ADUs, or
You have
the
to think
city
that
was
way.
messing with them, or messing with him on the setbacks, and then the fire department and all that. And he's like, what if we can't build these ADUs? And
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
We already
because we like added bedrooms or office, what have you, and the rents that we're going to get, I'm like, we can still refinance out because we're not going to have used that money.
Yep.
So then based
Just
on
less money,
the
yeah.
amount that we would use, I'm like, we're fine.
That's
And he
right.
was like, okay. He's like, now I can relax tonight. I'm like, fine.
I can picture that conversation happening.
Oh yeah. And I was like, it's 8:00 at night. Can I please stop
I'm like, I
working?
won't sleep until we figure this
Oh,
out.
That's why
yeah.
it's a good partnership for you guys, because you can be
Yeah.
like scared about that, and then you have
Yeah.
a good part. Some people just do it on their own.
Yeah,
and
he
they don't have
refuses
that,
to like make me dinner if I don't go.
Uh-oh.
And no, I'm just kidding.
Don't starve your wife. Come on, man.
He's like, get in there.
You
Tell
come over
me.
for dinner anytime with our family.
Thank you.
Exactly. He doesn't
Oh my
feed you.
gosh.
All right, so we close every episode with final 5. So, just quick answers, top of your mind. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Be kind.
Be kind.
I love that.
Expand
Be a
on that a
kind
little
person. Just be a kind person. Golden rule: just treat people how you want to be treated. And when you're thinking about how to act in a certain situation, like, start with being kind, and then I think this makes everything easier.
Yeah. We need a lot more of that in this world.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Oh
Just
my
be
gosh.
kind would be the
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
be that quick answer.
What's I was gonna say you have a tough day. What do you reset? But we already talked about that. So what
Mhm.
about a book that changed your mindset, or some book that's been inspiring to you?
Book that's been inspiring. There's so many good ones. I think it's kind of like more like of a spiritual book, but I still love it. It's like a book called like Ask and It Is Given.
Mm.
And it was about like creating what I took from it, and there's probably some more takeaways, but like, something that you want, like, put it out there, tell people. Like, I remember I met you for lunch that way. I'm like, I want to buy a house, has like this grass. I want to be able to grow stuff here, and I want it to be like here. And
Yeah.
you put it out there in the universe, and you get everyone else like enrolled in what you're doing. And then I think that somehow, I don't know how it works, but the universe somehow conspires to like help you, as long as your like motivations are pure, and if you win, you don't just like take it for yourself, you use it as a platform to give.
Yeah.
So I think that that's real. And I think there's that book, I took that away from it. And I think it changed my life as far as how I approach like getting what I want.
Yeah.
And my job is to get other people what they want. Hey, I need this. Can you get this for me? Yeah, I'm really good at getting what I want. So I should be good at getting you what you want too.
Yeah.
So that was a really good book about like mentality on getting what you want. Just put it out there, tell everybody about
Yeah.
it.
That's
No,
great.
that's so true. I couldn't agree more, because the more that when this whole thing started, I just started talking about it, on social media, this
Sure.
and that. And then, just the world, it just aligns, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing in the beginning, but I hired someone. And, when we first met up, I wasn't even doing syndication. I think I had just,
No.
We had
hired,
bought that first building,
I had bought like that first one.
our 7
and
unit.
then,
Yeah. In Santa Paula, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about you guys is that I really do believe that you guys put it out there in the universe, what you're doing, and then you do the work it takes, but you always like make that happen somehow.
Yeah.
And so I've watched you guys since we got reconnected. And like, hey, Mark, I'm going to buy some buildings. And other people you hear them, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh man, Danny's going to do that. We're not that high. Like, he's definitely going to do that. Like, I don't for 1 second doubt that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So you kind of create that integrity
Yeah.
with the universe. And then everyone like looks at you as like, oh, this person's the real deal.
Yeah.
And I've always respected you as that type of person. So
Thank you.
it's kind of like, I always try to do that too. Right. So I what I want usually is like some like crazy escape is usually what I fantasize about these days. Like I want to go like hike to this waterfall in Alaska and I'll print the picture out and I'll tell everybody about it. And then hopefully someday I'll do that or something.
Yeah.
If you had to start over tomorrow with zero connections, where would you go first? Or what would you do first?
What did I do first was zero connection, and I still want to be in real estate.
Yep.
He's like, do I get to change my career?
Nope.
Don't do it. No. You know what? I would say I would have probably been a little more of a specialist in the beginning. I was like, I'm still a generalist, so I'm doing movie theater, horse ranch, medical office, high street retail, hotels, data centers, all simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I've kind of branded myself as like a Swiss Army knife in that way. But I think if I was starting over, if all I did was focus on affordable housing and I met every affordable housing owner and that's all I did my whole life and I just became a freaking expert at affordable housing, I would have an extra zero on my net worth right now. But I get fulfillment out of knowing all like being able, I could finance a studio if I want, like anything that.
Yeah.
I haven't done like a graveyard or a cemetery.
One of the ground lease.
I really, there's one prototype I haven't done yet that is on my goal list is a casino. I've never financed a casino. I just want to like see how the cash flows work and what percentage of the income comes from.
Yeah, I'm curious on that too.
I want to do a casino. So I'm going to put it out there in the universe, listeners.
There you go.
I'm going to finance a casino or sell a casino in the near future.
Yeah, watch. Next time we have you on,
we'll do the casino episode.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
Yeah.
Deal.
We're like 6 months later, Mark ended up.
I'm calling. I mean, if I really want to, I should just call like one casino owner a week. It wouldn't be that hard. If any of the listeners are casino owners, please go.
Reach out.
Yeah.
I hear we have a lot of casino listeners.
Sports venues would be fun too, like a stadium.
Oh my gosh.
With like
so
all
fun.
the attached retail and then like the parking lot or like I think a stadium would be fun too.
Yeah. I when I'm kind of done with this, I just want to own parking lots.
Parking lots?
Yeah, there's just probably not a whole lot of. I'm not going to get any maintenance calls on that.
Well, I'll introduce you to somebody in LA who owns most of the parking lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the guy who sold Dodger Stadium that kept the parking lot. Yeah, he kept the parking lot, and I was like, making so much money.
I'll take a parking.
But until they do the robo taxis, and then no one parks their cars anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, we're doing an office building downtown.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, and they actually made the parking so it was flat instead of like the ramps.
Yeah.
So like it's like a little more flat, and then like there's some weird way in a certain area because they're like someday we want to build a 100-year economic life, and everyone thinks there's gonna be all these like cars parking all the time. But like at some point, no one's gonna like drive to work in their car. They might use it. So we want to be able to convert this to office someday.
Oh
my god!
So they made the floor plates just in case.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I thought was kind of forward thinking, right?
That is, yeah.
Like drone delivery drop offs in tall buildings, like you can like fly a drone and deliver something.
Wild.
They're already doing that.
That's
cool.
So wild. That's so wild to think about.
Some fun stuff.
It's like the Jetsons.
Yeah,
when we were kids.
Jetsons, I love the Jetsons.
It's like the Jetsons.
Jetsons and Flintstones was like so.
Yeah,
I was that generation with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. Maybe you have a definition for this. Maybe you don't, or like maybe like a goal that you're going for. But what does financial freedom mean to you?
Well, I'll answer that a different way. Is that someone said the most valuable thing in the world is peace of mind.
Yeah.
So, you can go places in the world where someone's not rich and they're very happy and they have peace of mind. So I feel like sometimes it's not always like, if I had this much money, then I'd have the peace of mind. Because then like you're basically admitting that until you have that, you don't have peace of mind. So then your whole life, you're just like in this like not peace of mind
Yes.
mentality. So I think that financial freedom for me, it changes because I was down to $5 at some point, right? I think I only had $5 and a bunch of gold coins in a safety deposit box. Like from singing, I would just buy gold,
Yeah.
So I was like down pretty low. And financial freedom for me was like going to lunch and ordering whatever I want.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like, you know what? Financial freedom would be like, I don't have roommates. And then it turned into like, oh, but my refrigerator has ice cube maker. So I could like, I don't have to like do the trays.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got ice cream. And then I said, oh, it'd be nice to have like HVAC. I have my own air conditioner, not the ones in the windows, but I want one like you just turn on the thermostat and like I got the little Nest thing. So like financial freedom like always means something else, and your expectations like keep growing.
So true.
So it's like, but I was just as happy when I had the ice cube maker as I am if I built a swimming pool at my house right now. So I would say financial freedom is really just like knowing you're making smart decisions with your money. You're not like just sitting in a stock brokerage account and like you have no control if like Exxon stock like gets sued because there's an oil spill or something. Like your stockbroker doesn't want to tell you that because they just want to keep your money with them so they get 1%, but it's not really growing.
Yeah.
So I think that financial freedom is like knowing you did the best you could with the money you had and made smart bets with the right people. And then with whatever you have, try to find as much peace of mind as possible and be grateful for whatever you have and not. There's something I read recently. It says the feeling of like happiness isn't getting what you want. It's like not wanting.
Yes.
So it's like you get happy by like not wanting to have that next thing and not,
being content.
just like not wanting, like just like I'm good. So I think it's like knowing, because if you're not making smart bets, you're gonna have that regret. Like, oh man, I wish I would have just grown my money, and then I would have had more resources so I could do whatever I want with my life. Right.
Right.
If you're doing that, then like you just got to do the best you can with what you have, and then just be grateful and joyful with being alive. I mean,
and being healthy.
There's this video of this guy. He's like, I'm alive and I'm on Earth. Of all the planets in the universe, like I'm on Earth and I'm alive. It's like, dude, like it's like grateful to be alive, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality, I think, is that peace of mind.
Yeah. I agree. Because I think that success is so different to so many different people.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, not everyone wants to be a billionaire. Not even everyone wants to be a millionaire. There's people who are fishing on the, the shore in Fiji, living a beautiful life. And they're like, what you're doing looks horrible.
Yeah, you're staring at a screen all day and like driving an hour each way to work and like not happy. Like, why?
Yeah. They're
you're
like,
sitting down all day. Why?
Yeah.
And it's like, for what? Just to gain material items? It's like, no, it's about being content in what you have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Totally.
Yeah. I see that.
And
That's
I think
awesome.
everybody should write down what it is that they really feel would be the thing. Because once you get it, like I really wanted a BMW, right? So got the BMW.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I had it written down, like, okay, if I get this, I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
Then you put things into perspective. Like you don't want the next thing.
Yeah.
So like, just cool it a little bit, but make smart bets with good people and be patient. Like you guys are going to own these buildings for a long time. And 30 years from now, your kids will be doing like, oh, how did you get so rich? It's like, dude, we planted seeds. We planted trees and now they're bearing fruit. Like, it's how you build wealth.
Yeah.
And no one taught our generation that. Like, and growing up in Thousand Oaks, like,
no,
my parents didn't own any real estate. Did your parents?
No.
Like, so like, no one taught us this.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents rented a house.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I did. Like, no one taught us how to do this. So it's like we're kind of breaking through the generational, like landlords.
Yeah.
It's like how you get wealthy.
Yeah. And I thought like
owning stuff.
Yeah. And so many people in Thousand Oaks, I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, these people own their house and they have a boat. And my mom, I remember her, she was a financial advisor back then. And one of her partners was like, had a bunch of billionaire clients. And she said to me, she's like, Marissa, that's not wealth. That's cash flow.
That's right. Because you can afford
I was
that.
like, and she's like, wealth is when it lasts for generations.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I was like, well, that just killed that. I mean, I thought it was
didn't get
really
that
cool
advice.
they had a boat.
I didn't get that advice. That's a good advice.
She really like opened my mind to it because she was around these people. I mean, and then one of the clients who was a billionaire, both of her sons died. So she's like, yeah, you're a billionaire, but they controlled the kids so much they became drug addicts and overdose, both of them. And it's like, wow, that's actually not.
It doesn't buy you happiness.
No.
That's for sure.
So that's where I think your point to,
it's like
being content with what you have is so important.
And not trying to like make people think you're rich.
Yeah.
Right. Because I feel like sometimes people will get some money and then they'll like want everyone to think like, oh, look at this new Ferrari I just bought or something. Like, that's cool. But like, it's cool. Like if.
I'm like, where do you drive it fast?
If that makes you happy, then cool.
Yeah.
I love you. But if you're trying to do it to make other people think you're a certain way, then that's different for me.
Yeah.
So don't like, just be content with whatever you have. And
yes,
there's so much great things in the world that don't require money.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Well, Marc,
thank you.
I appreciate
you
so
bro. Much. This was fun.
Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, just from us growing up as kids to launching water balloons at tennis players to, you know, you financing $100 million real estate deals like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But
what I respect most about you is just like how grounded you are.
Yeah.
You know, like that doesn't change who you are. Your negotiation skills. I mean, we've been doing some stressful deals together, and the way that you bring people together and you explain things and calm people down. I mean, what you're obviously, you know, you're very successful for a reason. Thanks. And very proud of you, man.
And all the hand holding you've had to do with us, where
I'm
we're like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, what do you mean I wasn't supposed to do that?
Too. We do the lock and the thing. No, it's from just genuinely caring. If you're going to do something, like genuinely care.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what you guys do. You guys just doing some great stuff, and you're going to continue to do that. And I want to be more involved, and I'm just so happy for all the success you guys have had.
It's been fun.
Let's do some more deals.
Yeah, we are.
Let's find some more deals.
We will.
For sure.
And everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, share this episode, and we'll catch you next time on Ladders and Leverage.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.